Here we go. All right. I am Timothy Hart, and welcome to the Straight Truth. I have been watching YouTube, and I have to give props to all of the brothers who are standing up and being lions in this fight uh, to improve our society. Now, I have to say this, and I have to say this with all of the respect that I can muster. I have the highest respect for women as human beings, but, and I say but emphatically, there are a lot of things that need to be worked on. And as you're going to see in this video, and you should see the title says what? Sista, tap out before he breaks the arm. This is a debate that was going on between brother PMP, shout out to him, and one of his callers. And the gist of it is, okay, that women, let me read the actual title to you so you get what I'm talking about. It says, Black women should listen to Black men. Okay. Black women shouldn't listen to Black men. Accountability in the Black community. Now, I have to say this to you. I hope you're ready, because this brother throws heat. This brother throws heat. And I am smart enough to let those who have done the work get credit for the work. So I'm going to say this, and we're going to, without any further ado, we're going to work this out, because it is clear that many of us don't get it when it comes to relationships. Okay, there are some major issues you need to address when getting into a relationship. The first thing you need to address is your own personal self. And you can't go any further than there. You can't go any further than there, because you can try to hold somebody else accountable for what they're not doing, but that's not the point. The point is, you are not going to get points for what somebody else is doing and not doing. You're only going to get points for what you're doing. Conversely, you're not going to get punished for what someone else does, unless you associate yourself with those people. And that's a whole nother ball of wax. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's get into this.
Okay, I'm gonna get to it. I understand where she's coming. Okay, Black men need to do better, and Black men need to step up. Okay, and we arguably have. Okay, all of our statistics have been getting better. More Black men are out of poverty than ever. Less Black men are in prison than ever. More Black men are graduating than ever. And that's probably because we've been accepting criticism throughout time. For the past 40 or 50 years, we have been accepting criticism, and we have been doing better. Unfortunately, our women have not been meeting us halfway. Why? Because they married the feminist movement and the government that is taking care of them. So when you look at 80% obesity rate, when you look at 78% of children being born out of wedlock, these are statistics that only the women can control. And I say that because women, okay, we all know that women are the gatekeepers to sex. So if a woman goes out and she decides to have sex with a man and carry the child to term, that is her decision.
Heard that many times.
Yeah, but why is that still ignored as a fact?
Because it's not a fact.
How is that not a fact, that you have a choice to carry a baby to term or not?
Of course we have a choice to carry a baby to term, but the thing is, everybody's not comfortable with aborting a child.
Well,
no, because at the end of the day, a man and a woman, if I'm correct, a man and a woman make a conscious decision to sleep together, especially if they decide to do it unprotected, right? That's two people's responsibility in that, right?
Okay. Y'all hear what's going on. And here it is. The thing hasn't even started yet. And here she is defending instead of listening. That is classic. All over the manosphere, if you guys have been listening, the challenge is that men have been beat on, and we've been criticized, and we've been accused down almost since slavery was over. Now The women are being looked at and the details are now being ciphered and sifted. Nobody wants to accept it. Okay. Now, notice how she changed she basically changed the whole gist of the conversation. Okay. We're talking about, the man was talking about the fact that these women having babies out of wedlock, raising single families. And here she is. Wait a minute, hold it. Not everybody would divorce, would y'all come on. This thing has got me all flustered. It really got me all flustered because here it is. Instead of just staying with the subject matter, she changes the whole subject. Nobody's talking about abortions. That ain't even a case in point. We're talking about the children that lived, the children that's being raised. Why would that even be a part of the conversation? And the reason why it would be part of the conversation is because that's her way of backpedaling out. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, you know what? You know, there's a possibility that that's true. Okay, let me hear you out. Or there's a possibility that that's true, but consider this and say something in line with the subject matter. Don't try to change it. Don't try to change it and convolute the terms. See, that's a classic case of a lack of accountability. As we go on, I want to explain something to you. What people don't get is this. Whenever you take a position, I hope you're listening to this. Whenever you take a position on anything, the first thing you put yourself in line with, what is accountability? What are you accountable for? The knowledge. If you're going to take a position, you need to be knowledgeable about it. Okay. Don't just take a position just because you want to take a position because you feel strongly about whatever that was being said. Maybe because your friend talked to you about it. Maybe because you see some stuff going on. No, have some knowledge about what you're talking about. If you don't have knowledge of what you're talking about, your position means absolutely nothing. And when you get in a conversation like this woman or debate on the matter, you're not holding any ground and you're not giving the subject any real credence by your absence of knowledge. Okay. So we're not even talking, the man was not even talking about divorces. He wasn't talking about divorces. He wasn't talking about, he wasn't talking about abortions. Let's keep it moving.
So let's just say a fly-by-night thing and that woman gets pregnant. She does not want to have a baby for this guy, but she does not believe in aborting a child. So,
are you listening? Are you listening? Are you seeing? You see what people do on a regular basis is they go into stuff without even thinking about the ramifications behind it. They want the benefit, but they don't want the contingency. And it's obvious by what she's saying. Oh, well, say it was a one-night thing. Why is it a one-night thing? Why are we even talking about one-night things? See, this is a real problem. See, when a man talks about one-night things, he's a dog. But if a woman talks about one-night things, oh, that's just swept under the rug. Like, it's okay for her to do that. And when somebody calls her on it, okay, listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this emphatically, and I hope the world is listening. First thing is, there's no excuse for bad behavior. I don't care what's going on with you. I don't care what you think you know. I don't care who you think you are. There is no excuse for behavior. Now, what am I talking about in terms with this right here? If you're a lady, ladies, there is a certain standard of a lady. You just can't make this thing up as you go. Okay, you can't just pop up in 2019 and decide that a lady is not going to be what a lady always been. See, and because nobody's saying anything, if any of you know me from my other broadcasts, I am an ordained. I'm a minister, and I'm an advocate of righteous teachings and righteous works. And there is a scripture that I've always remembered because it always helped me to maintain a level of integrity within my ability. This is in the book of Ecclesiastes, and it says, because judgment is not executed speedily, a man's mind is bent toward iniquity. And see, this is what's happening with women, because nobody's spanking her tail. Nobody making her be quiet. Nobody's saying to her as a culture that this is what you need to be about doing, and make sure that he does those things, that there's a repercussions behind it. She gonna continue to do it. I've been telling guys the last 10 years, You know why the girls act the way they do? Because you never tell them the truth. If you think that wearing coochie cutter shorts is nasty and unsightly, and you just keep on going with it, you know what's going to happen? She'll leave you alone. And if she leaves you alone, guess what she'll do? She'll go find some fool who will tell her that that's okay, because now they think that they're going to get what the other guy gave up. Well, guess what? If a guy gave up something, that's not something it might be something I don't want. I'm just going to be honest with you. See, too many people get involved with stuff. And then when it comes time to really take a look at it, they do one or two things. Either they accept responsibility or they shuck it completely. Her shucking it completely. She does not want to be counted in the classification of people who think like the brother's talking about. And that's one thing. Men, see, we can't divorce ourselves from the male population. We can't just arbitrarily decide to say, well, some brothers, we don't have that luxury. But most women, whenever you say something about a woman, they'll say, oh, no, not all. Oh, no, not all. That's a childish way of dealing with the issue. You look at it as if it's yourself, then you address it. If it ain't yourself, dude, you don't need to tell anybody that it's not you. They'll know by your actions if it's not you. All right, let's keep it moving.
So now you're going to say, I'm sorry, because I heard earlier that I guess she should give the baby up for adoption or something like that. Just
okay. Did you hear that? She said she heard earlier that she should give the baby up for adoption. Now, what's wisdom? What is wisdom in this case? What does wisdom say in this case? Okay. First of all, you don't love the child. You couldn't love the child because the child was unplanned. And you can debate this all day long, whoever's listening. Anytime you have a child and it wasn't planned, more than likely, you have to muster up some love for it. It can't just be, oh, well, the child is here now. See, that's a what do they call a subconditional phrase? It's one of those phrases, at least. You know what I'm saying? At least. No, the child needs to be 100% thoroughly loved. If you did something as a result of your foolishness, okay, now you got to make some choices. You got to make some choices. And here she said, well, you said give the baby up for adoption. Well, guess what? You decided, as the brother said before, women can determine if that child is going to live or die. That woman can determine whether there is going to be a baby at all. Okay. Now, and I know what discussion is going to be. Well, why don't the men use condoms? Well, why don't the men dush you? Yeah, you see the argument? The argument's crazy. Okay. Everybody have a role to play. You play your part, he play his. If he doesn't protect himself, don't mean you don't have to protect yourself. See, you still want to be able to play the game with no accountability, you see? And then when somebody brings it to your account, now you want to sift. You want to sift and split hairs. Let's keep it moving.
It's the easiest thing for a woman to do. But the thing is just like you guys are telling women that if we both make conscious decisions to have sex, baby ends up coming from that. You need to either, let's just, for lack of better terms, kill the baby because we're not together, or give the baby away, because if not, you're going to be useless on a dating market. That's asinine. Now,
did you hear that? You hear that? She completely turned that thing on the man. I don't know. I have never in my whole life, and I think I've been around a little bit longer than her. And I think that I've been in male circles a little bit longer than her. Very few men want to abort their children. Very few. Very few men talk about giving their baby up for adoption. Y'all hit me and tell me I'm wrong. Y'all can do it. I'll wait. You can hit me and tell me I'm wrong. I'm waiting for a consensus of women to tell me that they got in a one-night stand situation, got pregnant, or they were in a short-term situation, got pregnant, and the man said, oh, we need to do something about this. That's way out there. That's way out there. If it happens, it happens so minorly that it's not even, it's a blurb on the map. It's a blurb. Okay. So here's this lady talking about we're men turn it on the women. No, we don't turn on the women. Let me tell you what happens, sister, if you're listening to this. Most men love their children, want to keep their children. The problem is they don't want to be with you. Okay? Because if you were so easy to give it up on the Friday night after the canine wine, then what use do you have for him? And see, when Kevin Samuels was saying, shout out to him, when Kevin Samuels was saying that when your body count goes up, okay, your value goes down. Why is he saying that? Because most men don't want to take care of someone else's children. Is that an indictment against the child? No, it's not. Is that an indictment against the woman? No, it's not. If you've done what you're supposed to do, someone's choice shouldn't become an indictment for you. But this is what it becomes. It does that all the time. And so now men are saying this here. Well, if you got a couple of kids, if you got one kid, it might be a deal breaker. It might be a deal breaker, not because I don't like you, but because I know that there are other things behind it. You see what I'm saying? What happened with you and the guy? Why you and the baby father not together? How did you get pregnant by? You see what I'm saying? So you might be developing patterns of dysfunction. You don't want to bother with it. Okay? And so are we wrong for making a decision about our lives? It seems to me that women appear to be entitled. Like, okay, not only am I entitled to your money, I'm entitled to your life too. See? And I've seen so many guys in relationships that once they get in there, they can't do anything without her say so. Talk about your classic simp. You see what I'm saying? He's so far up her scare. He's so far up under the apron that he can't see the forest for the trees. Come on, son. You were living a life before you met her. You have a workable brain. In fact, the creation puts you in charge of this whole thing. And here you are giving yourself up to her, and for no good reason. Now, if you have a solid relationship, accountability to your partner, your wife, is an awesome thing, because you know what it says? It says that you and her have a team dynamic. That's classic function. Okay? That's how relationships are supposed to function. It's a give and take. And there's reasons why when a man leaves the house, he lets his wife know. See? Because he doesn't want her to worry. It's not that she's got control, but if something happens and he needs to get home to her, then you see what I'm saying? There's that frame of reference there. Also, if she's somewhere and she can get to him, if she can find him, you see what I'm saying? It ain't about control, but these days it rarely ever happens that people get that kind of relationship, because people are jealous, thinking that they're with the ex, thinking that a name on the phone is not a normal number. What are you doing looking at the phone anyway to know what's normal, what's not normal? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving.
Here's the problem with only holding men accountable. Okay,
here it is.
I'm holding both accountable.
Okay,
see,
yeah, no.
See what she said? See what she said? She said she's holding both accountable. No, you're not holding both accountable. You see how that she twisted? No, we holding both. No, you're not holding both accountable. What you've done is basically absolve yourself of 100% of your responsibility, and you turned it into the man urging and pumping you to do something you don't want to do. That is not accountability.
Could get into the fact that women have way more options before and after the fact of getting pregnant or whatever it may be. Before conception, before and after, women have way more options. If you want to lay down with bums, that's fine. Although I don't recommend that, because it shows that the more partners you have before marriage, the less likely marriage is to last. That's a fact, and that's specific for women. Yeah, well, I mean, see, here's the thing. A lot of people believe that Kevin Samuels is some kind of alpha or omega. He's a McDonald's.
See, are you seeing what I'm saying? Are you seeing what I'm saying? Now, I for one, would not want this woman to represent my group. Would not want this woman to represent my group. You know why? Because if it was up to her to bring me back or bring us back, quantified knowledge, it would be colored by her foolishness. It would be so colored that we wouldn't get it right. See? Now, the issue here is not Kevin Samuels. And there she is changing again. I don't think so. Nobody asked for your opinion. Not in that respect. You stay with the subject matter. Should the black man be listened to by the black woman? Okay. And your position is this. He's trying to tell you exactly where you all stand as a consensus, not each and every individual, but by consensus. Okay. See, when you get to be an emotional person, stats, facts, and figures, they don't even count. You'll just interrupt just for the sake of interrupting, which is childish. Let's keep it moving.
Kevin Samuels is McDonald's, okay? So all of these concepts have always existed. People have been selling cheeseburgers forever. But McDonald's came along and they found a system that made it quick, distant. That's all Kevin Samuels is. These are the same ideas that have been circling. Unfortunately, black women don't want to hear them because it is criticism and it's tough. Trust me, I get
That's
it.
not true.
But
see, there it goes again. See, you could count them on your hands. Thank you for O'Shea Duke Jackson. He pointed that out one time. That said you could count on your hands how many times somebody interrupts in a conversation when, and it's every time that thing touches them. Every single time. Thank you, O'Shea. Then there's another person that said that exact same thing. Mediocre tutorials and reviews said the same thing. How many guys have to listen, guys? If you're listening to any of these broadcasts, how many people have to have to say the same thing before you listen? Okay, any woman, listen here. Let me set the stage. If you're going on a date with a lady, and she interrupts you more than 3 times during that date, that should be the last one. That should be the last one. And I'm going to tell you why, because you're going to spend that relationship fixing, okay? Fixing and trying to defend your position. You're a man. You don't have to defend anything unless you are doing the wrong thing. If you're doing right, you're working, you've got your business going, you're going upwardly mobile, you're not disrespecting her, and she clowns, you tell that girl exit stage left. And I'm serious about that. One of the problems we have, we can't say no to the system. We can't say no, okay? It don't matter how rotten and how ratchet she is, you just have trouble saying no to her. Okay. And because she feels like you don't have the right to say no because of the historical yeses, then she could just jump right into a conversation. Like I said in the beginning, no excuse for bad behavior. What kind of lady are you now? If there's a guy looking at you, I see her little picture. I think she's not that bad looking. You know what I mean? She's, actually got some cuteness going on. But here's the thing. Guy look at you and he hears how you're responding to this guy talking facts and figures, talking logically and rationally, and all you can do is that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, no it ain't, well wait a minute. Your arguments, your defense, your rebuttals don't mean anything because they don't have nothing attached to them. And so if a guy's looking for a date, you already missed it. You already missed him because you cannot settle yourself down long enough to hear what he's saying, which is in essence what he's feeling. Guys, guys don't separate, sisters. If you're listening to this, we don't separate. If we say something, that's exactly what we felt. Point blank, period. Okay. Now, if a guy's trying to do something else, you'll find out exactly what that is. But by and large, we try not to say stuff except that's what we actually mean. Let's keep it moving.
But here's the history. We have black men being held accountable, and we can tell that because black men have been doing better. But if I have 10 men that are held accountable, or if I have 10 men and 9 of them are held accountable, all it takes is one man. Out of all those men, if women are not held accountable, one man can get all those women pregnant. Okay? So we have women that are in our culture, we have a baby mama symptom. So that proves that women are not picking the right guys because if Future has 8 baby mamas, 6 of them were dumb enough to have a child with a man that is not taking care of his children.
But I thought he was a high value man.
But and this is the problem. I'm using Future as an example because everyone knows Future.
And
but this happens all the time in my backyard.
No, but let's talk about the high value man that's getting all these women pregnant, right? Let's just go with the Nick Cannons of the world and the Futures of the world. These are
okay. You hear that? She brought in a whole nother thing. All the high value man. Sister, if you knew what a high value man was, you wouldn't even be part of this conversation. Okay? A high value man is not necessarily a man that makes 6 figures. A high value man is a man that's prized because his ethic has warranted him the title based on his life. He has worked hard to build his empire. He has worked hard to build a reputation. He has worked hard to amass the resources needed to build and maintain his house. And so he's in a position to choose what type of woman he wants to be associated. That's a high value man. High value man, see, and you can tell where she is. She's all about the money piece, which means that Kevin Samuel is right when it comes to y'all have just focused on the money. And how do we know she's so focused on the money? You'll hear it later. It's all about what you make. What you make. No. If you want to compare dollar for dollar is not in the equality equation. Keep it moving.
Quote unquote high value men, right?
Yeah, well, hear me out though.
Okay.
If one man is irresponsible in that situation, correct? Future is irresponsible in that situation. That is something we can all universally agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that 7 women, after the first baby mother, the remaining 7 women were all irresponsible.
Absolutely.
So in Future's case, you have 1 man that's irresponsible, but you have 7 women that are irresponsible.
Absolutely.
So if you don't hold women accountable for their actions, that will continue. So we can make all good. We can make 9 men good, but if that one bad man exists and women follow for that man, which is what's happening, we're seeing that the top 10% of men are the only ones being chosen. This fact is backed up by if you look at even dating apps, most 10% of the men are getting all the swipes.
Can I respond to something you said really quick?
Go
So you said the 7 women after the first baby mother should be held responsible in Future's case, correct?
Correct.
So does Future take any responsibility for going around and impregnating 7 more women?
See, there we go again. What does Future's attitude and actions have anything to do with these women submitting, going along with a program that's going to bring a child into the world? See, people want to talk about accountability, but then in their conversation, guess what? They killed their own argument. And that's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did. There's no way you can sit up here and say, I'm not responsible for getting pregnant because he was there too. Okay, so I'm guessing that maybe he has some type of mind control over you that made you open your legs, that made you lay down or bend over or whatever position you was in. He had some kind of mysterious magical power that took you outside of your mind, and he took it over, and your body started doing things and you didn't want to do it. See, you see how the foolishness. What did you say, O'Shea? He said the buffoonery is at an all-time high. Come on now. You have sisters. If y'all are listening to this, pick up on this. There are ways to solve a disagreement. There are ways to argue your point. Make sure that you have your stuff together when you do. This sister obviously hasn't done any research, hasn't done any studying, yet she was refuting his claims. And now here's another one, right? Also, Future's responsible for all these kids getting pregnant. Okay, so if he could be responsible for babies being made in the absence of the mind of a woman, how can the woman claim equality? She ain't even thinking the same. She ain't even using her brain. Let's keep it moving.
Does he take any of that responsibility?
Well, yeah, he is responsible, and he's irresponsible in that case. And
Okay.
I think we all can agree on that. But then you have to go look at 7 different women. So we have 1 man that's irresponsible and 7 women that are irresponsible. And what we're doing in our
But what's
culture
the common denominator?
See, there he goes again, interjecting. What does it have to do with anything? Future slinging his stuff around has nothing to do with the women that open their legs. Because they could have said no. They could have said no. But you know what? All of them was chasing the bag. You might as well be real about it. All of them chasing the bag. Okay? And ladies, if you're here, be accountable and listen to this. And I'm being as respectful as I can. Okay? If you do something, remember, the minute you make a move, that's you. Okay? Now, there might be mitigating circumstances. There might be extenuating circumstances. But You are responsible for every one of your movements, despite your motivation. The brother is steady telling her that, listen, he is being irresponsible, yes. But in the case of reproducing, you are irresponsible as a team. Okay? So what he's addressing here, sister, and all other sisters, is the fact that women have, as a rule, always blamed someone else for the stuff they do. Blame them for making, you see, people can make them angry, can make them upset, can make them jealous. See that all of those are not signs of somebody who is independent and strong and solidly standing. If something else can motivate you to change your position, you are not independent. Let's keep it moving.
Isn't it the common denominator?
Yeah, but those are seven women had the choice to not have those children, and they decided to anyway.
Correct.
Well,
and this is my thing. You're right. They are making a bad choice. I would never do that. You know what I mean? And they should be held accountable for that. But we're not going to put it all on, hold these women accountable. Like Future shouldn't be going around dropping off seeds like the.
See? You see? Her quest to sound intelligent on a broadcast is what's causing her to dig that ditch so deep. It's quicksand, sister. Tap out before he breaks your arm. Tap out. There is no explanation you can give right now that's going to make that thing work. Nothing. Okay? He could be putting roofies in their drinks. If you ain't at the bar, you don't get the roofie. You see what I'm saying? See, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense sometimes when the failure of the family is based on two players not playing their roles correctly, or one player playing a role in a particular way and the other one not, or both of them deciding that I'm just going to abdicate my positions altogether. Teams are always unified efforts. If one happens to one person, it happens to the other person as collateral damage. So, sister, tap out, okay? Holding Future accountable for the pregnancy is a 50% deal, okay? He couldn't make those girls lay down if they didn't have some inherent and in-depth reason for wanting to be there, okay? And then he's throwing his sling all over. He could throw it all over if he wants to, but he's only accountable for his own slinging. He's not accountable for the person who opens up the glove and lets it land. Are you feeling that? All right, let's keep it moving.
Doggone groceries.
But what I'm telling you is, there's never gonna be utopia. There's never going to be a place where every man is gonna be wanting to take care of their children. There are some bad men, and they will always exist. What we have to do is teach women to avoid these men. Unfortunately, since we're not holding women accountable for their decisions, women are not avoiding these men, and we can see this through baby mama drama. This happens all the time. I know a dude that's in the neighborhood that I live in. He got 3 girls pregnant. He's a drug addict. How are you getting pregnant by a drug addict? That is an irresponsible choice. Now, I will say that one guy is irresponsible for doing what he's doing, but then you have to then look at the 3 women that are following that man. And unfortunately, when that man doesn't take care of his kids, now the cycle repeats. Now it becomes another single mother that's raising a boy that's not going to go and take on his responsibilities as a man, and he's going to get women pregnant.
Okay. Now, y'all heard what he just said. If men are not holding women accountable. You know, I had a lot of time to think about that. And the one thing that I noticed and that I love about the field that I studied is the fact of this. There are so many different ways to get people to change their behavior. I've always heard people, you can't make people do this, you can't make people do that. No, that's not true. Actually, you can. And I'll tell you how you can. Remember the element of need? Everybody knows anything about that? Supply and demand. Okay? If you don't want to buy pork, listen here carefully. If you don't want to buy pork, right? If there's beef available, you won't buy pork. If there's hot dogs available, that's beef hot dogs, you won't buy pork. If there's lamb available, if there's chicken available, you won't buy pork. But let those 4 entities be gone, and you will run for a pork chop. You'll run for a ham sandwich. You'll kill your mother for some pig feet. Okay? Change in behavior. Why? Scarcity. If it's not available for you to get, then you have to make a choice and do with what you have. in the Quran, there's a passage where a person is going through the desert, they're traveling, and on Fridays they're supposed to do a ritual washing so that they can enter prayer. Well, what do they do in the desert where there's no water? Do they not wash? No, you simulate the wash with sand. You see what I'm saying? Which is something you wouldn't know they would normally do, but for the sake of keeping the ritual, they use sand. Now, when it comes down to holding women accountable for their actions, I can happily say that if you don't dive into the emotional side and understand how that functions, you will never be able to do it. Never. Because if you come against her and you come against her with the authority and the force that you have, she's going to rebel and she's going to fight, just like this sister right here. Just like the sister right here. You trying to hold a woman accountable for her conduct? No. That's not what you do. You make a choice of to be plentiful or to be scarce. If she knows that there's the day that if she clowns that you're out the door, trust me, she does it to you. She'll do it to you in a minute, brother. Don't think she won't. If she wants to get something from you, she will withhold sex. What is that? Active scarcity. Okay? She'll tell you, oh, well, I'll respect you. I'll submit to you if scarcity. You see what I'm saying? So what that implies is if your style of living is not conducive to the way she wants it done, she'll leave you. You see what I'm saying? So this is the position we're in. Unless you are in a marriage. If you are in a marriage, then you got to come up with a different plan. Okay? But if you're single and you're out looking for partnership, if you're looking for a mate, okay, what you should do is you should put your agenda out there. Put it out there. And if she disagrees on critical points, turn and walk away. See, this stops all the fighting. You see what I'm saying? You can't get all involved in the control thing because control is not masculine. It's not. Authority is masculine. Control is not. Authority causes you to submit to it. Control makes you submit to it. That's not what we do. Emotions will make you submit because they have an inherent reason for keeping you there. Is that all right? If you disagree, show it in the comments, and we'll be glad to have a discussion about it. But here's the thing: you cannot hold women accountable in an overt sense because they already know what's right to do and what's not right to do. They already know. And if somebody higher than you tell them and they still not gonna do it, who are you? Just because you slinging the ding. If you slinging the ding and it's hitting the target, okay, boom, boom. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, but guess what? The day you stop slinging the ding, that's the day that the doorbell stop ringing. That's just all there is to that. She'll be out that door. Okay, let's keep it moving.
So can I ask you a question?
If she raises a girl, the girl is 3 times more likely to get pregnant before the age of 18.
Stats. Did you hear that? 3 times more likely.
And I could go through all the statistics of why this is.
All right, I got that. Can I ask you a question, right? You just gave an example or a scenario of the one crackhead guy that's got 3 women pregnant, right? And you mentioned something that was very, very key. Oh, when he doesn't take care of his kids. Why are men, black men especially in particular, so focused on the baby mama drama and not telling this black man to take care of his kids?
Now, see that? I want you to take a look at that. See, this is a clear lack of understanding of male leadership. Okay? I hope she gets to listen to this so she can hear the answer. Here's the answer. And I've listened to the video and I know the brother's not going to answer. Let me tell you what the answer is. The answer is this. Men have developed their own kingdoms. Men develop their own domains. There is an unspoken rule that you don't tell a man how to do in his own kingdom. Okay? You can't, don't go cross the fence line and tell that man how to cut his grass. He'll tell you what to do with it, and he have every right. Because it's really only partially your business. Are you listening to that? Now, here's another reason why men don't tell other men what to do. Because to tell them not to perform in a manner that says he's being masculine would be to emasculate him. And that's not what we do. Oh, no. We would rather let him keep his masculinity and show him a stronger level of masculinity, which means that if we happen to clash, then it's going to be a clash of the Titans. Okay? And it'll be the best man win. See? But I'm sure that somebody from an emotional standpoint, see, she's on the hot seat. Men can hold women accountable because we are the ones that provide. We're the ones who build the world. We're the ones who keep everything in line and keep everything legislated. We're the ones, okay? If you want to go back to religion, it was Adam that was put in charge and not Eve. If you go through scripture, Abraham wasn't cursed behind having the baby based on the what? The woman's suggestion, okay? It was her the one that caught the heat, messed up that woman's life. And that's what happens when people who are not in a position of authority try to tell authority how to do their job. No, sister, you might as well back up off that question, because you would never understand it in a million years, because the cackling hens get together and they have their little thing, and either they're fighting as a chicken or hanging out as a blackbird. Keep it moving.
Not holding that black man responsible so that they're...
See, responsible, accountable. Those are different terms. A person who's held accountable, okay, is made to respect and honor the codes that they agree to. Responsible indicates that the thing has happened already. And so now we're talking about causation. We're holding the man, we're making sure he understands that the cause of this situation was because of his actions. See, when folks talk about trying to be intelligent, trying to be, intellectual, and just saying all the wrong stuff. Oh, this is not what I meant. I guarantee you, if you'd had a conversation, oh, that's not what I meant. I meant accountability. Then why didn't you say accountability? Because you meant responsibility. Keep it moving.
Aren't a lot of single mothers in the hood. Because this is the thing. We have to, y'all have to realize, whether you want to believe it or not, women are not going to listen to men and say, oh my God, the man is saying X, Y, and Z. Let me go ahead and change my life. That's not going to happen.
Are you listening? Did you hear what she said? So this whole discussion she's having is pointless. After telling him, oh no, that's not all women. Oh no, not all sisters. Oh no, not all of us. Then she comes and uses the same blanket principle that she accused him of using. Women are not going to listen to men telling them to get there. Well, apparently, you need to listen to Kevin Samuels' broadcast, because some of those women have had success stories. Listening to what he was saying and applying the concepts, quite a few of those women are getting married. So you're trying to tell me that there's nowhere that a man could tell a woman that she needs to tighten it up and she listen? No, you're the one that won't listen and get it tightened up, because you're so busy trying to be somebody's competitor, trying to gain some measure of equality, which is never going to happen. And so you up here with this argument against a guy who's obviously learning, obviously done his research. Obviously, see, he's been talking this stuff too long. He's not reading off cue cards. This is what he does. So, but what you do is you come in there with all your disagreements and no facts to back up your premise. Keep it moving.
And even if a woman does, quote unquote, change for a man.
Wait, hold it. Didn't you just say that it wouldn't happen? If you just said it wouldn't happen, then there's no if then after that. There's no if then after that. See, emotions all over the place. Either you're going to change or you're not going to change. If there's the possibility of changing, then don't say it won't happen. Never say never. Let's keep moving.
She'll do it for that man.
See, now all of her change is isolated, which means it's not genuine. Y'all got to hear what I'm talking about. Here's a woman that's telling somebody, oh, well, she'll change, and she'll only change for one guy, but she won't change for the global good. She won't change so that she can adopt and change her behavior so that she not only learns from her past situation, but from her present situation, and she'll be better in the next relationship. No, That's not what's going to happen. And she just, if we go by her as the standard, guess what, guys? Y'all are in trouble. Keep it moving.
And it'll only be while she's into that man. But the moment she's done and over him, she'll not be that person to another man.
Well, guess what? That's why we have so many single baby mamas. Because they arbitrarily decide when they're not going to be into him. Which means that you disloyal. What the song say? Those hoes ain't loyal. Hello, somebody. It's clear. It's clear that when we sit and listen to people talk, okay, they put their feet so far in their mouth, you can ask them what the dirt is like outside their house, and they'll be able to tell you because they always got their foot in their mouth, trying to sound intelligent, trying to debate somebody who obviously has their homework done, and making themselves and the people that they're supposed to be associating with look like a fool. If I was all the women I listen to that, I would call her and tell her, listen, you need to stay off the line, okay? Stay off the line. Stop talking to these guys. Matter of fact, she need to have a talk with Tasha K. She need to have a talk with Tasha. If she has a talk with Tasha K, I'm sure she'll change her mind about a bunch of stuff. Keep it moving.
So in order for true change to happen to women, it has to be by women.
Okay, so now basically what she's saying is, oh, men, if we change, you won't have nothing to do with it. So the $30 billion hair weave industry is for other women. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Oh, wait a minute. The reason you want to wear red bottoms is for women. Wait a minute. The reason you're doing butt selfies all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, for women. So you're trying to tell me that nothing you do is designed to elicit a response from men? I don't know. In some cases, they'll call that a lesbian if it's for women. If you're trying to elicit that response for women. Now, for a woman to say what she just said, it shows that she has no knowledge of the biological paradigm. No knowledge whatsoever. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Men are not going to govern that change.
You see that? Oh man, you ain't responsible for nothing positive that happens in her life. You ain't responsible for her being better. You ain't responsible for her doing good. You ain't responsible for nothing. So guess what? Why would you even want to consider being with me? I'm saying that to women. Why would you even want a man? He ain't nothing to you. You know what that sounds like, folks? The big F word, feminism. See? And what did he say earlier in the broadcast? If you were listening, they have espoused feminism. They married it. And they what? Married the public domain. Entities that men are not responsible for providing. See that?
I can kick.
She's speaking for all women. Listen, women, change until some sister says, bitch, you need to get that stuff together. See? So you just, right now, you pretty much just asked yourself out of a relationship of any kind. If this goes on your resume, trust me, on your social resume, this is going to keep you from getting a quality mate. Let's keep it moving.
But it's not going to come through guys. It's just not. It's no different from saying women are ill-equipped to raise young men, which I totally agree with.
Wait, hold it now. Hey, wait. You just agreed with him when he said women are ill-equipped to raise children. Then who's supposed to give them the advice? The very person you just said nobody's not going to be able to make the change. So if the very person you said would not bring about the change, the one that's going to bring about the change, how are you going to receive it? It's got to come through him. But guess what? You just said it'll never happen, no matter how much he kick and scream. Well, what if you're not feeding the baby right? Hello? What if he has knowledge of children. Maybe he's a psychology major. Maybe he's a teacher. You know, just, I don't know. Maybe he just got some knowledge and he's trying to tell you how to do something. Or so you wait until the sister around the corner and down the block tell you before you listen to your own man. Well, guess what? There's strike number 3. You just X yourself out of a relationship, because if you won't receive from a man, there is no way he is going to be able to tell you what to do as far as raising that child that both of you have gotten and made together. Let's keep it moving.
Solely by themselves, at least. Women are ill-equipped to raise young men. Yes, they are.
See, wait a minute, hold it. Sister, how in the world are do the children stand a chance if you not only ill-equipped to raise girls and you ill-equipped to raise boys, and the very person that's supposed to help you do that is the one you're not going to listen to, but the one you're going to listen to is somebody outside of your household, or maybe an extended family member like your mom or your sister or whatever. Hopefully your mama raised you, but wait a minute, hold it. Your mom did the same thing. And so you're a product of a single parent household. And so she didn't show you how to interact with a man, so you don't know. And then she didn't teach you how to be a lady because she don't know. But see, you just all messed up. See, this is why when I watched this, it blew me away. I had to say something. I'm sorry I'm a little long-winded, y'all, but guess what? I had to say something because this is what we're facing. This is what we're dealing with, okay? And this is what I tell the congregation. Say, listen, folks, there's only one obedience you need. The only wisdom you need is to obey God. And what does that mean? Obey the truth. God is in the truth. He's embodied in all truth. So if you can find the truth that makes a change in your life, that's what you submit to. If you hear that coming out of someone else's mouth, that's what you submit to. It ain't even about the person who said it. It's about the truth that he or she does say. Now, this woman right here, I believe that she's got something going on, you know, in a minor way. But this topic right here, she needs to stay away from this discussion. Keep moving.
Men are ill-equipped to change women and get them on this rhetoric or this train that you guys are trying to get them on.
How about that? So there is no way we can convince you. Well, guess what? Future did. Future did it to 7 women. Apparently, there was something that convinced them to get in bed with him and have these children, despite the other women he had children with. Come on here. Nick Cannon. You mentioned Nick Cannon, too. Guess what? Apparently, there was something that was attractive to them that made them get in bed with him and wasn't going to have no solid relationship with him. So that what you just said is blown out of the water. There is always something, like the saying goes, everyone has a price. Everyone has a price. Unfortunately, most women is in Federal Reserve notes. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Now it's popular. It's popping. Yeah, everybody's listening, but there's not a woman on the face of this earth who's going to say, oh my God, this guy said this about me. Let me go ahead and change.
See, now we're getting existentialist. Oh, well, not a woman on the face of the whole earth. Girl, if you've been out of the state you live in, you'd be lucky. You have not met half the women in your town. You don't remember half the girls you went to school with. Yet, you can speak for the entire female populace from Indonesia, from Japan, from Korea, from Africa, from Cameroon, from Egypt, from the Ivory Coast, from Ghana, you can speak for, don't forget Australia, don't forget South America, Brazil, don't forget Peru, don't forget Hawaii. Don't forget any. Come on now. There's some folks living in Alaska. Some folks living across the Bering Strait in Russia. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you met and know all of those women and you know absolutely that they would not submit to that? Come on. Your shock value is not working. Keep it moving.
Exactly. And if she does, it'll only be for that man. See?
Now you just said every woman on all women. See, she's validating the claim. If we go by this as truth, guess what? She just validated our claim. She just validated our claim that women are not loyal. Okay? Now, because women are not loyal, neither are they genuine when they tell you something. Well, she'll change for this man, but if something happens, she'll revert. You know, sometimes I work with my pictures. I work with pictures, and I'll do some cropping and stuff because I like doing designs and that kind of thing. And at the bottom of the program, it says, click to revert to original. So, sister, you're telling me that the minute the man doesn't follow one of your dictates, you can click the button and revert to the old woman and take that crapism into the next relationship. Let's keep it moving.
I agree, and that's because women are not accountable for their actions.
Brother, don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, brother. Don't agree with that because she's wrong. She is every bit wrong. Listen, you ever heard of post-traumatic stress disorder? Post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychological condition where a person is responding with anxiety or adverse, according to an adverse event that has happened in either recent past or distant past. Okay? If you agree with her on that statement, bro, I don't know. You got to be careful about what you agree to because she's real slick with that. But that's what women have. Women have that ability to slick you. You know, just talk. They'll just talk and just. You ever walk into a room with a woman or your own woman and she's upset about something and she'll ask you 5 or 6 questions. And by the time you answer one of them, she's already on the answer. She needing to answer the question number 4. And so basically in her mind, you answer question number 4 wrong. And it's because she'll just bombard you with questions. This is what this sister did. She's trying to sound intelligent. Listen, she's dead wrong. She is dead wrong. Women change for more different reasons. Ask Fantasia. I don't know. You might want to ask some of these other women. Beyonce, before she was with Jay-Z, she had a certain persona and she changed. She made a change for her husband. And she's just that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we look at all of these different people who have had bad, failed relationships, right? So in other words, according to her statement that all women are this way, then who are we to trust, brothers? Keep it moving.
And they don't like it. It's very true. That's the whole conversation we're having right now.
I think people are accountable.
You're hearing
you
that
can't
women,
just say women. I think people, men in general. I mean, people in general. Men aren't taking care of their kids. So
see, there we go again. Now we're going to subvert. Men aren't taking care of the kids. That ain't the point. The point is, look at the subject matter. What it was is black women shouldn't listen to black men. Okay? And the fact that they're not taking care of them, that's not causation. That's not causation. If you want to get into that conversation, why aren't men taking care of their kids? And believe me, there are very few guys that's walking away on purpose. Okay? They do it. But as a rule, men don't walk away from their children. But you know what? The woman is tied to the child. And when the woman clowns and mess up, he got to fight with her to get his kid, to get his child. Or you know what? And here nowadays, he got to fight to get visitation. She can walk down through the grocery store and see him kiss a girl on the cheek. Don't know who that woman is. See his kids on the cheek, and all of a sudden, she don't want the man to see his child for 6-7 months. Want to go down to the court and try to make the court give her more child support. See, this is what he said. This is what he said in the beginning of the debate. He said that they have married the government. Don't you think child support is a government thing? And that's a whole nother thing right there. She just sold herself out to go up there and mess with them people. Keep it moving.
Now, do I say no? Black men. No, there are a lot of black men who aren't taking care of their kids. Do I get to say all black men don't take care of their kids?
That's not true.
So there are not a lot of black men who aren't taking care of their kids.
There are not a lot. You're talking
oh my God,
ma'am, listen to me. You're talking about a small minority of men.
That's a lie.
Just listen to me. You're talking about a small.
One thing we forgot to ask. We forgot to ask her if she's single, if she has any kids. See, because there are some times when a person can have a discussion with you and they can be talking right out of their own experience. Okay. And this is what it sounds like to me. But I've been listening to this. The video was 15 minutes long. For 9 minutes, we've been talking about, for an hour, we've been talking about the first 9 minutes. And it sounds like to me that she's got some personal things going on. Okay. Biases. Instead of looking at the facts, she's looking from the lens of her own failed issues. Keep it moving.
Minority of men,
apparently. Okay.
You're talking about a small minority of men that women are choosing to date because they make ill decisions. Mm-hmm. I'm not understanding where you don't. If black men have been doing better historically speaking, we have continued to do better, and that is because better than
what were you doing before, and what are you doing now?
Okay. we're going to end it right there. We're going to end it right there. There's a lot that can be said about that. Okay. But at the end of the day, brothers, this is what we need you to understand. Okay. The Bible tells us to not to answer a fool according to their folly. Why? Lest you take on their ways. Then it says in a couple of scriptures down, answer a fool according to his folly. Okay. Lest he convince you. See? The first one is talking about don't feed into his foolishness, because pretty soon you'll start thinking and acting just like them. The second one, he's saying you need to rebuke them when they're wrong. So you need to listen to them and understand, but put them in their place. Okay. This does not say that woman's a fool. But what it does say is that when you're dealing with women, you need to be careful how you address them, because there are some, if you could see that her conversation is going to the left, brother, bail. Bail. You don't have anything to gain by winning that argument. Nothing whatsoever. Especially if you and her are not talking about having no relationship, don't have no kids together. And if it's, you just don't have nothing to gain by winning an argument there. Okay. In fact, you ought to put that on your list at the top. If you and her can't have a conversation without her bringing up some faulty social ideology, or bringing up some craziness that says that she will not take accountability and that she believes that women are equal, listen, those three things ought to be a deal breaker, and cut her off and call it a day. We can call and text, but it can't go no further than that. And listen, it doesn't matter how good she looked, okay? Because if you saw the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, she get home and she start taking out the weave and start taking off the Max Factor and stop taking all of this stuff off, you're going to find that she is not what you're looking for. This is Dr. Timothy Hart talking about the straight truth. You all have a blessed day, and I hope you learn from this situation.